Today we're going to be checking out the Bunkerkings Command Mask, and we're going to be kind of diving into why I chose this mask to be my new mask for the 2020 season. So let's start off with what comes with the mask. I have switched out the lens because I've been playing in a little bit more of like a low light situation with it being the winter months. So I have the I guess it's like high def copper lens in, which works out great. One thing I really appreciate about Bunkerkings is they break down all their lenses for you on the site. So depending on what your lighting situation is, whether it's summertime, you have it, it's very, very bright outside, or it's winter and it's a little bit more cloudy, overcast, they break everything down and make it super, super simple, so you can choose the right lens for you. So this one comes standard with this smoked out lens, which for right now, when I'm playing, it's a little bit darker, but it's one of my favorites to just have a nice dark lens for those sunny days. I also, when I bought this mask, ended up purchasing a clear lens as well, just so I have that. So it gives me three options. I kind of have a dark, medium, and a light lens, so that way no matter where I'm playing, I'm covered. Another little life hack for you too, if you've got old socks, they work out great to protect your lenses. You chop the feet off, and that way, while these are in my gear bag, these are some of my old military socks that I'm not wearing anymore, so I've repurposed them to protect the lenses. But if you've got old sports socks, soccer socks, things like that lying around, and you can't wear them anymore, use them for your lenses. It'll help keep them safe. But jumping back into the mask itself, you do get this nice bag here. This, I believe I got the Black Samurai edition. I think that's what it's called. But so it came with this graphic mesh bag. It's got some netting on the back here, a little bit more breathable. So I try to keep like my lens and stuff towards the fabric side when I put the mask in here, but the bag itself is pretty cool. Jumping back to the mask, we already kind of touched on the lens. One of the main reasons I ended up getting this mask, I had an i5 before, but one of the main reasons I ended up picking this up was I was getting a lot of bounce in my camera. Anyone who records and does stuff for YouTube or any of that, with the older cameras and setups, depending on, I feel like the weight of the camera, when you would be running or doing, running all out, I couldn't help but get a little bit of click and bounce in that camera. And I would tighten down the mount. I would put shims in the camera to try and eliminate that, but no matter what I did, I would constantly get bounce. So when I went looking for a new mask, one of the main things I was looking at was just the rigidness in the ventilation at the top of the mask. I feel like the i5s, just the way that they snapped in, gave them a little bit more flex, whereas this Command mask, this top ventilation is extremely rigid, which works out great if you're trying to record anything. It gives a nice sturdy platform for the camera, and with the last couple times I've used it, it has completely eliminated that bounce in the footage. And that way I'll show you a little snippet of that and you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Middle.
Another cool thing, touching on the upper part of the mask here, is it has this built-in visor. Everyone's talked about it. Back in the day, we'd always rip the visors off. Every mask I have, as soon as you get it, you take it off and you throw it away and you never see it again. And then on that one day you need it, you never have it. This one has a micro visor built in, which I really, really like. One of the main things that they would say about it is you set it down and it protects your lens from getting scratched up. Now the cool thing is, depending on how you set your camera up as well, it acts as a double kind of feature there, and it also protects the upper lens of the camera, which is great. You spend a lot of money on these cameras, so you want to make sure they're as protected as possible. I always take good care of my stuff, but with there being younger kids at the field, not really paying attention, they bump your bag, hit your mask, and before you know it, it's on the ground. And so this just provides that little bit extra protection, so you don't go through these as quickly. Another thing I really like about this is how well it breathes. I grew up using a ProFlex, so it has a little bit more of a flex bottom, which I kind of like. It's not so flexy that it's going to hurt you, if you get shot in the face, but especially with it being Magfed, it allows you to kind of press your cheek against the buttstock a little bit more without having such kind of like a hard plastic exterior, and it communicates really, really well. One of the things with my i5s that I noticed is I get a lot of echo when I was yelling and trying to communicate with people across the field. This eliminates that. It's been one of those masks that as soon as you put it on, you're talking, it's like you got nothing on at all. It really cuts back on that echo that you get, and it makes communication a lot easier. Another thing, if you're a person with facial hair like I am, it breathes surprisingly well. The i5s over the summer, especially being in Delaware, being in the Northeast, it would get extremely humid, and so just the facial hair plus the mask would create this kind of vortex of heat and just nastiness, and this has helped to eliminate that. I'm looking forward to seeing how it operates for the rest of the winter and into the heat next summer, but so far this thing has worked out extremely well. One of the other things, so I pair this, jumping back to the upper part of this mask, I paired this with the new GoPro Hero 8 Black. Now, talking about the bounce that you're getting, the shake in the camera, if you haven't tried one of these out yet, you need to get your hands on one, because this thing here makes the footage extremely smooth. You put it on the mask here, especially with the ability to secure this, the HK Army mount to the top of this mask, and it's just like you're skating on glass, which I absolutely love. Now, another thing that I tried out for this year, in addition to the Hero 8, was one of these little GoPro remotes. If you haven't checked one out yet, try it, especially if you're recording. One of the big things that I had with these cameras is always asking people, hey, is my light blinking? This helps out. You get a digital kind of printout on the front here, so anything that is displayed on the front part of the camera, you get on here. So it eliminates you having to press the button, ask people if your light's blinking, because it will let you everything. It lets you know everything on the front readout, which is great. So just a couple things, if you are recording and you haven't checked those out yet, especially for paintball, check them out, because they're absolutely fantastic and they'll make it a lot easier. I guess another important thing for this mask is the strap. Going back to recording for paintball stuff, this camera puts a lot of extra weight on the front side of the mask. So another thing I looked for was just a strap that's going to be comfortable and help me secure that weight without getting a whole lot of wiggle, and this absolutely does this. I was a little leery. That was one of the main reasons I love the i5 so much, was because it had that click, the click, I guess, pad in the back of the strap that allowed you to really secure it to the head and made it extremely comfortable. So I was a little leery leaving that platform, but this has been awesome. It's a little bit thicker than your conventional strap, and it provides a lot of comfort and allows you that security to keep that mask tightly on your head. Now, there were two cons that I had kind of for this mask, and that's just because I've been told I have a big noggin. But initially when I got it, there was a little bit of tightness at the top part of the mask here. It wasn't extremely bad, but I could feel myself having to kind of pull the mask a little bit to get it to seat comfortably around the top of the head. Since I've been using this more regularly, my face is kind of adjusted to, or the mask is kind of, I guess, broken in a little bit more, so we're good now. But initially, I did experience a little bit of discomfort in that area, as well as where the strap snaps into the goggle itself. I noticed when I put on a beanie and a head wrap and I'd cinch it down a little bit, I would feel a little bit of pressure in the temple area, and I'd have to kind of loosen the mask up. But since I've kind of broken the mask in, I haven't had any issues at all. So if you've been known to have a little bit bigger head, this might need a little bit of breaking in, but it does break in for you. So just to kind of let you know about that. I guess, and finally, the last thing would just be, they're super easy to take the lens out. I mean, that was one of my complaints about the i5. I don't know if I just had a weird one, but I could never get the lenses out without a fight, using tools, whatever the case may be. And maybe it was just, I'm not very good with masks, but this one is super, super easy, even for me. It just has a little snap in here that you kind of push in and pull this out. You pop this thing up here, and you do it on the opposite side, and the lens comes right out. Super easy, and it makes it almost enjoyable to switch the lenses out on your masks. But overall, this is going to be my new mask for the 2020 season. I just picked it up a few weeks back, and it has been absolutely great. I'm one of those people who like to do a lot of research, and I ask some weird questions, so I hope this kind of helps fill some of the gaps with those. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments, and I can answer them. I'll answer them as soon as I get to them. Also, if you are military, first responders, Virtue has a great program for you guys. I myself am prior military, and so Virtue is one of those companies that just really takes care of you. You go onto their site. They have a I think they link you to an app. You fill out a little bit of information, and they give you a great, I think it's like 25% off for military first responders, which is, anyone who plays paintball knows this stuff is expensive, and so you're getting great gear, and they're really taking care of you and kind of, looking after you as thanking you for your service. So if you are military first responders, check it out. They've got a lot of great stuff. If you're looking for a new mask and you record for YouTube, check this thing out because it is fantastic. Again, thank you guys for taking the time, and we'll see you on the field.